protects our institution from board members who hold clear and long-standing prejudices against
What did it in 40 seconds?
Thank you. I ask, along with more than 3,000 signatories, that the board please uphold code of conduct and protect our institution from board members who hold clear and long-standing prejudices against protected groups, including but not limited to race, sex, and religion.
My name is Bogias, and I'm the mother of 2 young children, one of whom is currently a student in the Waterloo Catholic District School Board. I have recently been exposed to some online content from one of our board members that leads me to believe that she holds deeply prejudiced views which are incompatible with her position on the board, the Code of Conduct, the Human Rights Code, as well as Christian principles. I do not make these heavy claims without seeing proof of a long-standing pattern of poor judgment. However, information to support these claims is evidenced online by the content the trustee has been posting for more than 1 year, which demonstrate her personal beliefs conflict beyond a doubt with her position on the board. How do I know that the feelings of hatred expressed by members of the board don't trickle down to influence the people that interact with my child on a daily basis? By not condemning these statements, the board is supporting them. The trustee's online expressions are as follows. The most dangerous creature on the planet is the white Christian male. White women make obedient soldiers for the Christo-fascist patriarchy. I block people, especially those with unacceptable views. I will not be policed by those that try to silence the truth. And the hashtags used by this trustee are hashtag white entitlement, hashtag misogyny, hashtag transphobia, hashtag racism, and hashtag homophobia. The trustee's online activity may have been conducted on her personal time, and it is important to recognize each person's freedom to speak openly, irrespective of others' views and without penalty, to be able to criticize the institutions they pay for services they receive, and the behavior of others that they disagree with. What's different in this situation is that the trustee criticizes protected groups and immutable characteristics like race and color, as well as sex and religion. Why does this matter? On a personal and private level, in the eyes of the law, it doesn't. But this trustee occupies a public position of power, influence, and decision-making for an institution whose values collide with her personal beliefs on a deep and fundamental level. This, by definition, is a conflict of interest. Some might argue that this trustee plays an important role on the board in the fight for inclusivity for historically underrepresented groups. But I would direct those people back to the established pattern of thought, where she describes Christians as fascists, young white Christian males as dangerous, and white women as obedient soldiers. These thoughts are not coming from a place of love and inclusivity in the traditional sense of the word, but a place of hatred for white men and women as well as Christianity, all of which are governed by this board. Some may also argue that this trustee was democratically elected, and her seat on the board reflects the will of her constituents, that her constituents were aware of her views prior to municipal elections. But perhaps it's worth noting that her online content didn't make its way into the public eye until recently, and that she did not campaign on messaging that reflects her prejudicial convictions, but on messaging that aligns with Christian values on paper only. Without going through the list of offenses, I want to point towards 2 requirements within Board Policy number 007, Code of Conduct, that state the following. Requirement number 1, trustees will not cause or allow any conditions, procedures, actions, or decisions that are undignified, unprofessional, or contrary to the preservation of Catholic values and teaching. I ask every member of the board, would you not agree that this trustee's conditions are undignified, unprofessional, and contrary to the preservation of Catholic values and teaching? Requirement number 2, board members must represent unconflicted loyalty to the interests of the ownership. Does the board recognize the personal conflict this trustee maintains within the confines of her own mind? Under Section 218.3 of the Education Act, a breach of this code of conduct may be dealt with either by A, formal apology, B, retraining, or C, resignation, as decided by the board. We can all agree that these prejudices are incompatible with the Waterloo Catholic District School Board, and that the enforcement method chosen must secure and preserve our Catholic values and teachings. I would offer that this trustee's long-standing pattern of prejudice over the course of over a year cannot be reconciled with an apology or training sessions. It's absurd to think that years of strong-held ideology can be unraveled in a few days or even months of training. This will make the trustee only more careful to conceal her contrarian views through an erasure of online history that's recently taken place with her online content. I have heard from other parents in the community who share the same sentiments I do. There are more than 3,000 signatures obtained in an online petition calling for this trustee's resignation. I personally know other parents, as well as myself, are exploring private school at our own expense, while we look to build support for expanded school choice legislation and competition in the education sector. The culture in our schools has changed dramatically since I was a student. What's new is the messaging about white entitlement, Christo-fascism, and patriarchy that kids are being exposed to. They begin to hate themselves at a young age for things they have no control over. They're being taught that their religion, skin color, and sex make them dangerous and bad. It's no wonder we have an epidemic of kids that no longer want to be themselves. I ask, along with more than 3,000 signatories, that the board please uphold the code of conduct and protect our institution from board members who hold clear and long-standing prejudices against
Budget in 40 seconds.
Thank you. I ask, along with more than 3,000 signatories, that the board please uphold the code of conduct and protect our institution from board members who hold clear and long-standing prejudices against protected groups, including but not limited to race, sex, and religion. We, the parents and the taxpayers, want a restoration of institutional accountability starting in our school boards.
Here.
In closing, as we were reminded with our prayer tonight that this week is Catholic Education Week, the 5 sub-themes illuminate the path to being many